all of your favorite characters, people that you see, even people in life, history, have this one trait that makes them great. And it separates the people that have status, have wealth, even have physical fitness. But all of that means nothing if you don't have this one trait that just wraps it all up, that just solidifies it. And it's what you might call being street smart, being sharp, being cunning, whatever you want to name it. All the successful leaders, the great men of history, have been built upon this quality. They all had it. Do you? I'm going to teach you the importance of this trait of being street smart, sharp, or cunning, and how to develop it. There's 3 things to consider, and the first one being very important, and it's that the world doesn't fit your perspective. So how things should be, how you would like things to be, how you view things, doesn't matter, because the world just is. Messed up things happen all the time. Good things happen all the time. It's not your job to determine what should be and what should not be, but it's your job to react to it and move accordingly. Perfect example is this hard truth of not everyone's gonna like. People are just gonna have something against you. Maybe it's the way you talk, the way you look, whatever. It doesn't matter. And it probably shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. And that's a truth that you just gotta handle. Because if not, then you're just gonna be sacrificing yourself, pleasing people, and that just goes against you being sharp, being cunning, because you're not acting accordingly. Another thing to consider when it comes to this trait is that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So listen to people, their strengths, their weakness, their interests, how they think, how they move. Oftentimes they're not. When you just listen, you shut up. A lot of times people show their true intentions through talk. They snitch on themselves. But at the same time, you're not listening in a snaky way. You're not listening to get the upper hand always on somebody, which it can be used this way, but you can also use it to be a great leader, to understand your team better, to understand their own capabilities to the fullest extent, and not just for your own benefit, but for theirs as well. I think the last thing to consider, and I think we often see this a lot, is somebody that's smart just puts all their chips into being smart, but they're not street smart. They're just book smart. And so that's all they ever know. And the same thing with somebody that's strong. Somebody that's strong just puts all their chips into bodybuilding, lifting weights, looking good. But they might be as dumb as nails. They might not catch on to social cues. And so the problem with that, a master of multiple things is a master of none, but definitely better than a master of one. You compensate for your weaknesses, but in the wrong way. The importance of being sharp and cunning, but also having that strength is a dangerous combination, because you don't want to only be the smart weakling, or you don't only want to be the dumb strong brute, but to be the sharp cunning warrior, well calculated. That is a dangerous combination. Now let's get to how to actually start using our brain, critically thinking, and being more sharp, more cunning, more street smart, right? I think the most important part is take emotion out of everything. And number 1 thing is take emotion out of conversations. Look at conversations and relationships strategically first, logically first, and then you can decide to put however much emotion into it. Oftentimes people think that if you're street smart, if you're sharp, if you're cunning, that it often means that you're hard to fool, although that might not be a wrong definition. That's just one part of an equation. It gets a lot deeper. Just conversations alone, right? Let's say you're talking to somebody, anybody. It can either be a war of wills or a dance of harmony. And when I say you analyze and you listen to people, you don't want to do it out of a place of fear, but just of observation, of being aware, having an open mind. Having a closed mind will not get you to being sharp, being cunning, being street smart. If you have a closed mind, you're stuck at that. It's almost like my cousin always told me about cutting hair. And it was like, if you feel like you've learned everything you needed to know about being a barber, then you're a whack-ass barber, because there's always something new to learn. There's always a way to improve. And the same thing goes for being smart, being cunning. Smart in the way of people, not smart in the way of books. When you're closed-minded, you're just stuck in one way, and that has its disadvantages. You will be exploited in the weaknesses of those ways. And if you want to improve this skill, speak to more people, watch people, speak to them, be around people. And you don't even got to speak to them, but you can listen. That's the whole point of me saying you got 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. You can listen, see how, and that's another theory I have, is like, people are not as unique as they think. Specific groups of people, whatever, we're all human at the end of the day. We are not as different as we all think. But you will never know that if you're closed-minded. You will never know that if you don't speak to enough people when you get out there, because then you will just be ignorant. You'll just be ignorant to the ways of how you view things. And that's why I say it goes back to the how you view things is not important. It's just the way that the world is. That's what is important, and you acting accordingly. So if you want to be more sharp, be more cunning, it's about, you don't know how many times a guy will be talking to a girl and he'll say something stupid in the worst time, and that just ruins it for them. And I know, because I've been that guy. So if you want to be street smart, if you don't want somebody to pull one over on you and you want to improve on this skill, be around more people, speak to them, but in an observation way. See what there is to gain, what there is to lose, and just know that the world is this way. This person is this way. You cannot change that. You cannot change the world, but you can act accordingly and change the way you move. And also it's understanding. I want to make this the last point because I know I'm blabbering, but move silently and you'll see how far that will get you. That's like tip number one. The most easiest thing you can do. Move silently, let people speak, and listen. Another thing too, and this is the last thing for sure, and it's that everything might not be what it sounds like. So it's nice to listen, but also watch. Cause somebody's words might not match their actions. Don't listen to somebody's words, listen to their actions. But don't judge their actions, judge their intention. If I could tell you how to be street smart and I could give you one tip, it's that. I think that pretty much sums it up. So that's pretty much it, man. Mad love. You know, somebody asked me for this, and I tried my best to articulate it. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to see more videos, if you want to keep progressing and build this community, let's do this regardless, right? And that's pretty much it, man. Mad love. Have a great day. Peace.